Okay, Chelsea are finally looking like Chelsea again. After months of inconsistency and questions about identity, Enzo Maresca's Chelsea are starting to find rhythm, structure and belief. They've scored 21 goals and counting. And they're doing it without their superstars carrying the team. From João Pedro to Malo Gusto, from Garnacho to Estevão Willian, goals are flowing from everywhere. Every match feels like someone new is stepping up. And that's the magic of Enzo Maresca's Chelsea. A side built on ideas, not egos. A squad that's learning to suffer together, rotate together, and win together. They've survived injuries to key players like Cole Palmer, watched their young stars mature under pressure, and still found a way to climb the table. When Estevão comes off the bench, the energy in the team changes. Immediately, Gusto scores his first goal. The crowd erupts. Not because of the goal itself, but because of what it represents: growth, belief, and hope. This is a team that started the season with doubt, but now carries the weight of expectation. A team that can go from frustrating to fantastic in a single half. And with Maresca on the touchline, performing magic with his tactics. Calm, precise, relentless. Chelsea have gone from rebuilding to believing that they're young, they're fearless, and they're learning fast. The numbers prove it, the fans feel it, and the Premier League is starting to notice. Chelsea are no longer a project, they're a problem. And right now, here's how scary Enzo Maresca's Chelsea are, but nobody is noticing. At the start of the season, Chelsea looked like a team, still searching for balance. The performances were promising in flashes, but inconsistency was never far away. They created chances, pressed high, dominated possession, yet still found ways to make simple games complicated. But something has shifted. After 11 match weeks, Chelsea currently sit near the top of the Premier League table, officially third position, just behind Arsenal. What remains certain is that they've scored 21 goals, the second most in the league so far. A clear sign of how far this side has come from the chaos of previous seasons. What's more eye-catching is how they've done it. This isn't a team led by one talisman or a single goal scorer. It's a collective rise, they all rise together. Goals have come from every department. Defence, midfield, attack. Malo Gusto, a fullback, scored his first Chelsea goal against Wolves. João Pedro and Pedro Neto have scored goals too, even when Cole Palmer, their most influential player last season, was sidelined with a groin injury. Chelsea didn't crumble, they adapted. That resilience has become their defining trait. Despite missing key figures like Palmer and Levi Colwill, still fighting with injuries, Maresca's squad continues to find solutions. His rotation has given opportunities to emerging stars like Acheampong, Estevão, and Alejandro Garnacho, whose energy and skills have electrified Stamford Bridge every time they step onto the pitch. From the start of October through November, Chelsea have been relentless across 3 different competitions, 8 matches, 8 tests of their credentials, and the Blues have answered emphatically. It began with a statement. Victory, a 2-1 triumph over Liverpool at the Bridge. Then came a comprehensive 3-0 dismantling of Nottingham Forest. They took the momentum to Europe, where they swept Ajax aside 5-1 in the Champions League. A minor stumble followed, a 2-1 defeat to Sunderland, but Maresca's men quickly steadied themselves. Wolves fell 4-3 in the EFL Cup before Chelsea edged past fierce rivals, Tottenham 1-0 in a tense London derby. A 2-2 draw against Karabakh in Azerbaijan proved a rare slip-up before they resumed with another dominant 3-0 victory over Wolves in the Premier League. The numbers proves everything. 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat in their last 8 competitive fixtures. Chelsea are playing with a confidence that had been missing for years, and they didn't allow a single shot on target in their most recent game against Wolves. What we're seeing now is a team rediscovering its identity, not through individual brilliance, but through collective growth. The rhythm is building, the belief is back, and the message is clear. Chelsea are no longer chasing form, they're breathing form. Under manager Enzo Maresca, the squad depth has gone from luxury to necessity. Fans now expect more than a strong 11. They demand impact from the bench. Chelsea's roster is packed. The club's official squad list now includes more than 20 players regularly rotating across Premier League, Champions League and Cup fixtures. Analysts rate the depth as 9 out of 10 for the 2025-26 campaign, citing midfield reinforcements and attacking options as key one standout, Estevão Willian. When he comes off the bench, the tempo and threat levels rise. He's become a game changer in the eyes of fans. In the 3-0 win over Wolverhampton Wanderers, it was his entrance that altered the rhythm and unlocked chances. Another example is Malo Gusto, whose first Chelsea goal in that same match rewarded a rotation-driven system and proved that even defenders are expected to contribute offensively. The power of rotation is also a double-edged sword. Maresca's willingness to swap players, shift tactics, and give youth meaningful minutes speaks to his long-term vision. But in the Champions League earlier this year, too much rotation led to dropped points, an early warning that depth must be used wisely. Football analysts flagged the mistake of rotating in a key UCL tie. That hint of vulnerability gives this depth story its emotional edge. Chelsea's bench is no place to hide, it's a weapon. Several games already show how second-string players step up when starters are hurt or fatigued, despite injuries to key defenders like Badiashile, Colwill, midfielder Dario Isugo and attacker Cole Palmer. The team still carried on and climbed up to third on the Premier League. Rotation has kept legs fresh, mindset sharp, and competition high across the squad. That internal competition fuels belief. If I'm not starting, then I must be ready. Estevão Gittens, Garnacho, they aren't waiting, they're doing. In short, this Chelsea side doesn't rely on fixed 11. It's built for endurance. Depth isn't just a backup, it's frontline material. And in the modern Premier League, that may be the difference between inconsistency and sustained danger. For all their energy and flair, Chelsea remain one of the youngest squads in European football. The average age of their starting lineup this season sits at around 23.8 years, a figure that defines both their brilliance and their unpredictability. With youth comes bravery, the willingness to press, to take risks, to play with intensity, but it also brings inconsistency. Chelsea can look unstoppable one week and uncertain the next. They're still learning how to control a game, how to stay calm when the first plan doesn't work, and how to handle the pressure that comes with expectation. That learning curve has been visible in key matches this season, especially against compact defensive sides. At times, they dominate possession, record over 65% of the ball, create chances with width and movement, yet fail to convert early dominance into goals. Those moments expose a lack of patience, but Maresca's belief in his young players has never wavered. Alejandro Garnacho, João Pedro, Estevão, Enzo Fernandez, Marc Guiu, and Caicedo have all developed in responsibility. Garnacho's 2 assists in the 3-0 win over Wolves showed maturity beyond his years, while Caicedo's ball recoveries and duels won place him among the league's top 5 midfielders statistically this season. Their growth shows that youth is not holding Chelsea back, it's driving them forward. Still, there are reminders of what's missing. Late-game lapses, misplaced passes in build-up, and emotional decisions in big moments remind fans that this team is still under construction, but what once felt like naivety now looks more like evolution. This Chelsea side is learning in real time on the biggest stage in English football, and with every mistake corrected, every lesson learned, and every young player stepping us up, they're slowly transforming potential into power. The youth tax is real, but for Chelsea, it's an investment that's already paying off. If there's one thing that defines Enzo Maresca's Chelsea this season, it's goals. After just 11 league games, Chelsea have scored 21 goals, averaging 1.9 goals per match. What makes that number even more remarkable is how evenly the goals are shared across the team. There's no single striker carrying the load, no one player whose absence stops the rhythm. João Pedro, Pedro Neto, Alejandro Garnacho, Cole Palmer, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez have all contributed in front of goal, while defenders like Malo Gusto, Acheampong and Chaloba have chipped in from set pieces. In total, 11 different Chelsea players have already found the net this season, a statistic that perfectly captures Maresca's collective approach. The data supports what fans feel. This is a fluid, unpredictable attacking system. Chelsea average 15.7 shots per game, ranked third in expected goals in the league, and have scored in 9 of their 11 matches. Even when the first half looks slow, as it did against Wolves, the second half brings a flurry of movement, substitutions and precision, a pattern that has turned tight games into statement wins. Maresca's philosophy has played a huge part in this. His positional play demands constant interchanging, wingers drifting inside, midfielders pushing between lines, fullbacks overlapping with purpose. It means chances can come from anywhere. When one player is marked, another appears in space. It's controlled chaos, and opponents are struggling to contain it. What makes this even more exciting is the age profile of those scoring those goals. João Pedro is 23, Alejandro Garnacho is 21, Esteban Willian is 18. Chelsea aren't just free scoring, they're doing it with the next generation. Every goal feels like a glimpse of the club's future. For the first time in years, Stamford Bridge doesn't rely on one hero to deliver. Instead, every game brings a new name on the scoreboard, a sign that Chelsea's rebuild isn't just tactical, it's a new culture with belief and chemistry turning into goals. When Enzo Maresca took over at Chelsea, expectations were cautious. The club had already cycled through philosophies, managers, and expensive signings that never quite fit. What Maresca inherited was not a broken team, it was a confused one, and within a few months, he turned that confusion into clarity. The Italian's fingerprints are now all over this side. His football is methodical but expressive, structured but brave. Chelsea no longer rely on moments of chaos or individual brilliance. They rely on patterns, rhythm, and control. In possession, they average 63% of the ball per game, the third highest in the league. They rank among the top 4 for progressive passes and build-up sequences, leading to shots, which underlines how quickly Maresca has brought cohesion to a once fragmented attack. He's borrowed from the philosophy that defined his time under Pep Guardiola at Manchester City: ball retention, positional play and high pressing, but he's done it with a Chelsea identity. The fullbacks, Cucurella and Malo Gusto, invert to create midfield overloads. Moises Caicedo orchestrates transitions with discipline, while Enzo Fernandez moves higher, threading passes through lines. It's a system designed to suffocate opponents without the ball and overload them with it. Maresca's biggest success, though, might be psychological. The dressing room that once felt divided now feels alive. It's about trust, freedom, and accountability. The body language tells the same story. Calm when defending, patient when building, fearless when attacking. Chelsea press as a unit, build up play together, celebrate as a unit, and defend as a unit. Even the setbacks, like the Champions League rotation slip that cost them points, haven't derailed the plan. Maresca treats every mistake as part of the process, not a crisis. His rotations are calculated, his message consistent. No one is guaranteed a place, but everyone has a role. Chelsea are finally recognisable again. There's a shape, a style, and a purpose. From a club that once felt directionless to one that now looks rehearsed, composed and hungry. Maresca hasn't just changed how Chelsea play, he's changed how they think, and that's often the hardest transformation of all. It's taken time, patience, pain, and persistence. But Chelsea finally looks alive again. Yes, they'll make mistakes. Yes, they'll drop points. That's what young teams do. But this time, the foundation feels alive. It feels real. Built not on names or transfers, but on chemistry, structure, and belief. The Premier League has noticed, the fans are feeling it. Chelsea are no longer rebuilding, they're back and rising to the top.